I always, go emotional, and at the same time, I feel it is more of my responsibility to share the journey that I had gone through. A phase came in life in 2014 where I had a steep collapse, and literally I lost everything, and I was nobody on that moment. Sudden collapse, it gives a negative mindset in the mindset of the employer, right? When we go for a job after such a, found out an ad in the online portal about a driving post. Somebody was looking for a driver to drive them from morning and then drop them back in the evening, and the salary of 12,000 was offered. We all entrepreneurs, when we are earning, we never look at anybody's advice as a piece of advice. We always think that they are pulling us back. In the interaction, he said that I have a property to sell. Why can't you help me sell this asset? I went to my friends who are in the real estate space, got connected to the realtor fraternity of that location, helped him sell that asset. And he called me back home, and then he offered the brokerage, the commission, whatever language you call it as. It's not just the money that triggered. It inspired me to take up real estate as a profession. After analyzing, I said, let me just do the broking part of it. Found a developer through another friend of from the real estate sector in the same network. We did the joint venture deep. From that payout that he has given, large company like Godrej has built a great product for senior living communities around the airport. But they are stuck in the sale for almost 3 years. Right. I have a friend, well-wisher, godfather again. He was in the space of luxury senior living. He came into my mind the moment I heard that word. I facilitated it. That's one of my largest transaction I did. It was close to 100 crore transaction. Did from a parking lot with a phone call. We did the deal. We closed all the transaction. And that night when I came back and sat on my table was wooden table, strongest wood on that, because I am seeing wood in front of my eyes. So it's an Australian Buloke. When the phase came COVID, it has taught many of us many lessons. One is to be prepared for the worst. Second, this is one life, live it to the fullest, and whatever best you can give back to the community.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Business Giseness English podcast. Uh, it is my honor to introduce today's guest to you. Today we have Vaninath Reddy Renati of the Buloke Realty Ventures Private Limited. He's the founder and CEO of this organization. Uh, this organization's success story is something to behold. In 29 months, Buloke Realty Ventures Private Limited has acquired 900 properties and an asset valuation of 880 crores and close to 400 shareholders. Uh, this is a success story, as I said, to behold. It is my honor to welcome Vaninath to the show. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Avi. Firstly, many congratulations, and I should appreciate the fact that what you are trying to do to educate the people around on various aspects of whether it may be business, may it be personal life, may it be health. I mean, it's truly commendable. Many people do businesses. People doing business with purpose is something which I always admire, and I'm so happy that you have been doing fantastic. And that's one of the reason I'm here today.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It only reaffirms our belief that by providing a space for the entrepreneurs to share their story, we are not just curating content, but we are also inspiring the next generation of entrepreneurs in in the verticals that you represent and also the verticals that they want to hop onto. Right,
Got it.
sir. As I started this podcast by saying the success story of Buloke is is a marvel in itself. Right? Can you walk us through your life, sir? Where did you start? How did you start? And how Buloke happened?
I mean, I always, go emotional, and at the same time, I feel it is more of my responsibility to share the journey that I had gone through, more so for a reason that what I had gone through, the people around us should not go through. What we are trying to build, how we are trying to build, people should understand it.
Right.
So if you truly understand these two gaps, what was missing in the past, what is available today, what made that difference is something which I want to share to the people around. So I feel delighted to share. And yeah, born and brought up in Andhra, started my graduation in Bangalore, graduated in pharmacy out of passion to healthcare. I did couple of years into healthcare domain, did a lot of research activities. And with the entrepreneurial team that popped up, ventured into multiple businesses with the earnings that came through the clinical research. I ventured into every business that came my way, without evaluating the nitty-gritties of the business.
Right.
The capabilities that I personally own are, the dependency factors. Without evaluating them properly, I jumped into every business opportunity, thinking that entrepreneurship is all about doing business or owning business, failing to understand that the minute shift that an entrepreneurial mindset should have.
Right.
So, like any other entrepreneur, we were dare to take risks.
Right.
We're doing that multiple times, multiple ventures into diversified industries, not in a single vertical doing multiple things.
Right.
So, a phase came in life in 2014 where I had a steep collapse, and literally I lost everything, and I was nobody on that moment. So 2015 January, I can say I kind of kickstarted my restart with a hope that the learnings from the past should be the driving force for the future that I'm trying to build. Was the intent of coming back to Bangalore in 2015. But when you have seen a lot of success and we have, your name carries a lot of labels along with you, being the founders of hospital to a lot of business entities, sudden collapse, it gives a negative mindset in the mindset of the employer, right? When we go for a job after such a uh, high rise to a low, I had to face it. And then many of interviews where we attended was being refused to give an opportunity. But to fight out that life, that moment, found out an ad in the online portal about a driving post. Somebody was looking for a driver to drive them from morning and then drop them back in the evening, and the salary of 12,000 was offered. I'm ever grateful to the gentleman who posted that and gave me that opportunity. It not just gave me hope to myself, it is a hope that he has passed silently to the entrepreneurial community. His statement when I went to his house for an interview, he said, and I don't want to look into your past, and I'm sure that you will not stay with me for long. But during the transition, whatever I can, I would like to be part of it. That statement was, I admire that statement, I admire the person, and I'm grateful that he's also an integral part of the entire real estate journey that I'm going through today. Yes. So that moment, I had no hesitation, no social stigma. Before that, we all entrepreneurs, when we are earning, we never look at anybody's advice as a piece of advice. We always think that they are pulling us back, or, well, we are earning, why should we even listen to them? That attitude and ego always was silently destroying, but we never feel the pain unless you completely feel the pain, right? So without a second thought, I took up the opportunity. I was doing that for a 5.5 months. Later, a friend of mine, whom we used to help him in the past businesses, he, knowing my entrepreneurial strength, he referred me to his cousin in Hyderabad. That you should be doing something else, not this. When somebody else, my cousin is building something, why can't you be helping him? So that's when I had to explore that opportunity, because living has to be there. So I had taken up the opportunity in Hyderabad, and they not only they just gave me the job, they showed me the path to the business network that I'm part of, BNI. There were members there. They gave me an opportunity to visit one of the meetings of theirs. That triggered the entire way that I used to think about an entrepreneur. It transformed the way I should be thinking. I should be looking at entrepreneur as a whole. So that moment, that 190 minutes of the meeting has completely transformed me as a person, and the way I was doing businesses to what I should be doing in my business journey. With that 90 minutes of learning experience, I came back to Bangalore, joined a chapter in BNI, representing that company. And about a stint of 6 months, again, the collapse happened. I had to come out of the job and figuring out what to do. And I was sharing my experiences with the gentleman whom I used to drive. In the interaction, he said that, I have a property to sell. Why can't you help me sell this asset? Because he has given me life and he has given me an opportunity to work on his requirement. I felt it is more of a responsibility than an opportunity that I'm getting to work on. I went to my friends who are in the real estate space, got connected to the realtor fraternity of that location, helped him sell that asset. And after given, when he called me back home and then when he offered the brokerage, the commission, whatever language you call it as, it's not just the money that triggered. No, it inspired me to take up real estate as a profession. I also felt, when I asked him, sir, when you have so many opportunities to sell your asset, why did you even think of me to? That only one thing. No, it's not a commodity to trade online.
Correct.
It's something, an emotion. Emotion can be dealt by people. So that those words, it's triggered and it helped me.
What a prophetic statement, sir. I mean, sorry, I'm interjecting.
No problem.
To think that the traditional real estate have sustained the online onslaught of the so-called well-funded startups. I think it kind of relates to what
Yes.
your friend was trying to say,
Yes.
right? Because real estate has that emotional connect. You don't sell it to everybody and anybody.
Yeah.
Right. And the buyer has to be good, the seller has to be good, and anybody in between needs to have the common good in mind.
Absolutely.
Right. Otherwise, the transaction doesn't go through.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, even the top billing real estate will not go through because the emotion says no. So, what prophetic statement here?
Absolutely. So that triggered the real estate in me and came back to the same network I was part of. Started my real estate career, considering that let me take it as a serious profession and do it. Of course, most of the realtors, we never studied real estate, The moment you get into that industry, you learn a lot of things through colleagues, through friends, and through a lot of learning content that is available today. We sailed through the industry, and the network has played a vital role in the transformation. The very first week itself, I remember again a godfather to me had offered his property to develop by myself, but I didn't have the bandwidth. So, if it was my previous self, I would have grabbed the opportunity and
Right.
did it by myself. Either I don't know whether I would have been successful or again a failure. But I evaluated myself. Do I have the capability to take it up? Do I have the resources that I can deliver his expectations?
Right.
After analyzing, I said, let me just do the broking part of it. Found a, developer through another friend of from the real estate sector in the same network. We did the joint venture deal. From that payout that he has given, we felt, real estate, it takes some time to get the payouts.
Yeah.
But how do we sustain, to take care of the family needs, to take care of the business requirements? I also felt, with the last entrepreneurial journey, let me build some kind of an retail entity which can give me that daily, income. I got into, photography chain as a franchise owner.
Okay.
Did multiple franchisees of that in a span of 2.5 years. But what the mistake again I did in this journey was again, not focusing on the core, which was yielding me a larger chunk, the real estate. Kept that aside and was more, enthusiastic about the entrepreneurial journey of building more outlets. Though it is not my core expertise, I was more focused on building up the number of outlets.
Right.
On the phase came COVID. I never regret. I only thank COVID for what it is. Of course, and all sorries to all the people who lost their lives, but it has taught many of us many lessons.
Right.
One is to be prepared for the worst. Second, this is one life, live it to the fullest, and whatever best you can give back to the community in whatever way.
Right.
Give back. what you are doing is something that I always feel uh, is something. It's not just like a business opportunity. It's more of trying to share the knowledge to a wider audience. It's purpose. Whereas realtor, we are trying to fulfill the emotional needs of the people who are touching lives.
Right.
These are the things which COVID has taught us. During COVID, when we are at home, introspecting our journey in the past, current, what mistakes we have done. So it realized whenever you identify your core, you neglect that and you are jumping into opportunities.
Right.
So that moment when we understood our core strength is something, it's not real estate as an industry, the core strength is people. Connecting with people was the core strength, which was an inherited attitude that which was there within us. So I thought, okay, let me leverage it to the fullest, and the network that we are part of it has taught us so many things, has helped us understand the true meaning of building meaningful relationships. It also gave us the opportunity to connect across borders. It also helped us open up the eyes, ears, and spot the right opportunities for the people whom we are associated with. So all these put together has helped me build myself back in the real estate space. Though we never studied real estate, not have been in the real estate profession for long, but with these learnings of the past, the support of the network has built me to what I am today.
Amazing journey, sir. Absolutely inspiring. Let's look at your brand. How did you land upon the word Buloke?
What has happened in one of the transaction, it's again happened at the spur of a moment in a parking lot. The moment I heard that a large company like Godrej has built a great product for senior living communities around the airport, but they are stuck in the sale for almost 3 years.
Right.
In BNI, we always hear the word, when you are in networking, when you are talking to somebody, keep your eyes and ears wide open. Implementing that as a practice, the moment he said, we have built a senior living product, we are stuck in the sale, the antennas opened.
Okay.
I have a friend, well-wisher, godfather again, who was brought BNI to Bangalore those days, almost close to 2 decades now. He was in the space of luxury senior living. And he came into my mind the moment I heard that word, and I checked with them, would they be interested in picking up this property? And the other side, the company had an inventory which is to be exited. I facilitated that. That's one of my largest transaction I did. It was close to 100 crore transaction.
Yes.
Did from a parking lot with a phone call. That gave a lot of strength in not just as a person with a mindset. When we do with the right intent, the universe will play it.
Right.
I am a strong believer of that. Secondly, when you understand your client better, it's easy to sail through it. And the best part is that moment of the transaction, we also facilitated a conversation to reach out to a large, high net worth individual who participated in the transaction as an investor.
Okay.
We did the deal, we closed all the transaction. And that night when I came back and sat on my table and chair, my table was wooden table. I was thinking what to name the company. I Googled strongest wood on that because I'm seeing wood in front of my eyes. So it's an Australian Buloke, which is the strongest wood on the earth.
Okay.
Which can withstand 5,000 pounds of pressure but still strong. I felt for a moment, wood is made up of grains.
Correct.
The company that I'm going to build will be made up of people, which acts as like the grains. Strongest wood, strongest company.
Okay.
So that sparked the idea of naming it as a Buloke. And again, thanks to VNI, we have friends around who are company secretaries, chartered accountant, and reached out to them to check the name of, and the rest is history.
Rest is history. Real estate has so many players. Can you give us a bird's eye view of all the players who exist and what are their roles, just for clarity?
If someone has to buy a home, it all starts with a builder acquiring a land.
Right.
So the land licensing agent comes into picture. Their core strength is keeping an eye on the available land parcels, understanding the nitty-gritties of the legalities, right? Keeping the documents ready to give it to the legal.
Okay.
So that's how the land aggregators pumping in that money required to acquire the land. It's all land aggregators. So their core they just believe in getting the land pulled up, putting it to the builders,
Right.
who can buy it out or take it on a joint venture, okay, or a joint development and build either apartments, plots, villas, different real estate products onto it, commercials. Land aggregation starts. So they are the land aggregators, one category of people. Then comes the builders. So they are the large players who understand the design part of it, who understand the construction part of it, okay, who understand the process management part of it, who understand the sales and marketing part of it. All put together is a builder. He's not just building.
Right.
He's managing the whole, right from land acquiring to the planning to design to
Okay.
construction and exit. That's the builder. Civil contractor is the one who builds mid to small to mid segment constructions, right from individual house,
Right.
to a small portion of complexes. So they don't get into any other aspects. They just, once the architect finishes the design part of it, they take over from there and just do the civil construction part. They are civil contractors. Architects are the true architects who design any product that we see, either it is a residential, commercial, hospitality product.
Right.
They are the visionaries who design the product. They don't get into any acquiring the land or to the construction. There are many players who does end to end. For example, Total Environment is a classic example. They are architects turned builders.
Right.
So evolution might happen, but in a true sense, an architect, the core focus is on design element.
Right.
They keep innovating themselves on the day-to-day needs, advancements. That's how you see a lot of buildings that are coming up today are not the same like what we have seen in the 3-4 decades back.
Right.
They also evolve. They also learn a lot of things from the market, talk to a lot of clients, understand the needs.
Right.
The architects are the one who design the part of it. Right. Once they build the home, people to start living in, they need certain equipped home, right? So that's when the interiors come into play. They design the aesthetics, design the interiors based on the customer need. They build the kitchen to the the bedrooms, and all those spaces are designed by the interior architects to the interior designers.
Right.
RERA consultants is a new evolution after the RERA got into place. They facilitate the documentations. It's all to ease the builders or the real estate consultant to get the RERA approval. So they act as the people who drive that process to save the time of the builder, so that the builder can focus on his core strength. So they facilitate the approval process. They don't do anything else. That's RERA consultants.
Why was RERA needed, sir?
To protect the interests of the home buyers, to be precise, and also bring in a discipline in the builder community. Because if you look at in the past, we have instances where there were delays, defaults. Delays are acceptable, but defaults hits people, right? Many people buy homes with their lifetime savings, right? When delay happens, still is bearable. If the default happens, they collapse. Okay. So RERA was brought in to kind of bring in that structured discipline among the builder fraternity, to be precise, and also as a hope to the home buyers that there is somebody protecting their kind of interest in the opportunity. Like banks run their independent way of operations, but accountable to RBI, right? So RERA is kind of an regulating body to oversee how these builders are functioning. Are they kind of to more so the discipline part of it, right? So in the past, we have seen some of the builders taking advances for a specific project, but the money is being deployed to acquire land elsewhere. But there were too much of diversification. The money coming in for a specific project is not being utilized to develop that specific project. Money is being utilized for multiple other acquisitions. But if there is a challenge happening in any other place, it hits the project that the investor has put in the money, the buyer has put in the money. So eventually the government also felt that there has to be a controlling body. RERA has been brought into place.
Right. So when I see an ad and it says RERA approved,
Yeah.
what does it really mean?
See, builders earlier used to launch projects. Even today, they are launching projects post approval of RERA. What does RERA do in that phase? Once the builder acquire land, get all the necessary approvals in place, there are a dozen plus approvals that are required before they launch the product, before even they get to the RERA phase. So RERA oversees that everything is in order, whether they have got the land which is legally clear, whether they have got the plan sanction from the relevant authorities. Some places it is BIAPA, some places it is BDA, some places it is BMRDA, depending on the land, the geographical positioning of the land.
Okay.
Different planning authorities come into play. Whether the right planning authority has given the approval or not.
Right.
Do the builder has the kind of required what to say, capabilities? Have there been builders before, or what are the projects delivered? Were there any complaints registered on the builder in the past projects?
Right.
Not many scrutiny will be happened by the RERA authorities, and if everything is in order, then they will give the approval to launch the project.
Okay.
During the phase, no builder is authorized to collect monies from any of the aspiring home buyers until they get the RERA approval. They're not even allowed to market the property.
Okay.
And it's also important for the people who are buying home, who are aspiring to buy homes, also to understand the subject well, understand why it has been brought into a place. It is to safeguard them. But in the urgency of buying the product, they just go
Right.
giving money even before RERA is approved, which is a word of caution to them.
What is the business model that Buloke operates it?
See, any builder, if they are to sell the inventory, either they sell it through the in-house resource. They also sell through a lot of channel partners who are RERA registered channel partners with them.
Right.
They also sell through the in-house references, existing clients referring their friends, families.
Right.
There are builders who, for the lack of in-house resource, or they know to save time on building that resource, they give a mandate to a marketing company to sell their products.
Okay.
They are mandate players. They don't invest in the product. They don't take the accountability of the sale. They can only give an assurance. If I don't sell the product in say 6 months, I will give you a penalty of this much. No, they are only with a kind of success they have built in the market. They give a ray of hope or an assurance to the builder that I will help you sell this product in so and so time frame.
Right.
They also work through different channel partners who are empaneled with them, or they empanel channel partners and work. We are different. We are in a hybrid model, I can say, where we buy a certain set of inventory from the builder in the early days. That day they get their RERA, we participate with them and buy a tower of apartments, a 50 or 100 plots, or a quantum based on the ticket size. We participate. We say, builder say, hey, look, anyway you have to sell the product.
Right.
We are here to buy. Allow, we are running it as a business model where we will also sell our own inventory. So we act as a mandate bearer of our own inventory.
Okay.
So we buy our units and we sell our units. I don't have any right on any of the other units owned by the builder there.
Understood.
I can act as a channel partner selling the other inventory while I sell my own units. My own units are my mandated units. Either I sell in-house, I sell through my other friends, channel partner friends.
Doesn't matter to us.
It doesn't matter. So it is only to facilitate that initial the quantum of sale that a builder needs for that initial heads on to kickstart a business project. It also brings in a lot of positivity to the builder. And it gives a moral boost to the sales team that, this much is sold. If your product can be sold, somebody can take risk of buying so many units. This product has something in it. So if we put the right elements to it, we can comfortably sell those units, the balance units. That's a shift in mindset for the other sales team of the builder. So we are trying to facilitate the sale faster. We are also bringing in our network of people to participate in that launch. We also help our vendors acquisition from our business network that we are part of. We also refer credible vendors from our source of network. We call ourselves as a strategic partner to the builder, not a mandate player, not a channel partner.
Right.
we want to play that role of a strategic partner, being a catalyst in the entire journey, not just a sale. So that's the difference that we are trying to play. So we also, apart from builders, we also help channel partners have a pipeline of inventory at diversified geographical locations. And some home buyers who are buying the units for themselves, they wanted to kind of have an basket of opportunity to evaluate closely. So they get to choose the inventory that we are buying in various markets, various micro markets with the different builders we buy, right? So they get to choose the right product and the right home for themselves.
Amazing. If I have to ask you, and me being as naive as I can, what do you think as a buyer that I should look at when I'm selecting a real estate opportunity?
See, if you're looking to start living immediately, you should be looking at a ready to move in product, right? Obviously, if you have time to move in, if you're preparing yourself to move into a specific property, say in 5 years down the lane, you have different aspects to evaluate to choose a property. If you're looking at real estate asset class as a rent yielding asset, there's a different way of looking at an opportunity. So if you have to put it, if you are looking at property to buy for yourself, there are three fundamental qualities that you should look at: the credibility of the builder that you are investing in buying in, the location, whether it adds value, whether it saves a certain amount of time for your commute to workplace or the business space. All these parameters you should evaluate before choosing a product. We always feel, that this product is selling at a higher ticket size. Let me go far off and then buy at a little lesser cost. But you understand, time is money today.
Correct.
If you go buy a product, say at 10 kilometers distance to save a few lakhs, but you may feel that in a few lakhs you are saving on that particular day, but every day you are spending good amount of time commuting, good amount of the travel time risk. It adds a lot of stress on you for the travel and journey. So if you calculate that, basis that, you have to take a decision which is appropriate for you to buy a home. If it is investment, still you have to evaluate all this, plus how quickly you can exit if you want to exit that micro market.
Right.
Are there the best job opportunities coming around that home that you are buying, so that you can rent it out better at a higher rental yield, or you can exit the moment you want to exit? Are these two parameters coming in handy to you? Then you can choose that product.
Now, again, one more set of questions that people usually have is, do they go residential investment or a commercial investment? What is, I mean, I'm sure there is no one right answer.
Absolutely.
Right? Because there are significant returns that can be gotten out of a residential investment. And obviously, commercial investment has its own perks. What would you advise if, let us say, I have a little bit of money that I now want to invest on some real estate opportunity? What do you think? Residential or commercial?
If it's the first time that you wanted to invest, I always recommend to choose residential, because home is an emotion that anybody should own. Right? If not for you, for the family that depend on you or look up to you, will always aspire to have a home of their own.
Correct.
So first start looking at investing in a home that you want to live in.
Okay.
The rest can be either residential or commercial, basis the appetite, or that how deep the pockets are to invest.
Okay.
And what is the capital deployment that you are looking at that point of time. See, in any residential or a commercial yield, today ticket sizes have gone up drastically because of the land value appreciation. If you look at long-term yield, commercial is always better. Again, it comes with the higher ticket sizes. Liquidity of commercial is not that easy as compared to residential, because the buyer base is large in residential.
Correct.
Compared to the commercial asset class. And any human will understand residential market easily compared to the commercial market.
Very true.
Suppose I bought a home today, I want to sell. I know I just go to any portal or some realtor friend nearby, or you yourself can put it across to various friends to sell. But the moment it is commercial, you are narrowing down on the buyer base.
Correct.
And the capital deployment is huge in Finercy, right? Residential, you can still participate with the 10 lakh when then the balance can come in from the loan aspect of it. Commercial, we require a larger quantum. It all basis the capital deployment appetite that an individual has at that point of time. You can take a call. But whatever said and done, whether it is residential, commercial, as long as you are putting money into the real estate asset class, you are safe.
You're safe. Absolutely. Obviously, you've also experienced startups, tech bros trying to invade the real estate market. And they have tried to disrupt the the real estate consultancy and brokerage in their own way. Some have been successful and some have pivoted to something else, or some themselves have become brokers, right? How did you manage? This happened, did you fear that this is going to be a massive disruption? What was the general reception of people within the industry for this?
So real estate as a business, if you look at it, it is a people business. It is not a tangible business. It is a business transaction between two people.
Right.
Asset is a byproduct. Correct. Unless you trust me, you will not trust the product that I'm getting onto your table. Technology can only catalyze the transaction. It cannot replace the transaction with the humans. Right. Imagine today I'm talking to you. It's not because of the technology I'm sitting here, but because of the relation that we enjoy. I'm here to spend some time, share our experience. Right. This cannot be replaced with technology. If I have to do an online podcast where with an AI I'm talking, I will never do that. Right. Understand?
Okay.
So what is happening? The perception, PropTechs are evolving. They will evolve, and they are the right catalysts to kind of transform real estate as an ecosystem. But they cannot replace a channel partner or a realtor or a broker, whatever term you use, cannot be replaced for a simple reason. Today you might buy a property using tech or whatsoever you call it as. But as I was telling in the past, when you support your health, you go to a family doctor, right? When it is about your most emotional asset that you own, you don't sell it to a technology.
Right.
You sell it through a person because you want to put that in the right hands of a person who is buying it also. You don't want anybody and everybody to buy your property. I always tell people, even in my company, when they said, first we'll invest in technology. Technology will have to invest, but let us build the right people around us.
Right.
Technology can be brought in to fasten the process or to better the business operations. But unless we have the right people around you to manage the business collapse. Technology, if it's not been implemented, business may slow down, but it will not collapse. But if you miss people, the business collapse. That's my personal learning. So I always build people first and then the technology next.
Absolutely. I want to touch upon your association with BNI. In fact, you're all part of the same organization. It's the mother organization for us. But what I've personally felt in BNI is that it also inspires you to become a better businessman. Because on a week-to-week basis, you're meeting people who have had different successes, right? Makes you open your ears and eyes to things that otherwise you would miss. Tell me your association with BNI, sir, and how important has BNI been to you?
BNI has been my lifeline, I can say. It's been a decade of my association with this wonderful forum. It doesn't facilitate business to, put it my way. It transforms people. Right? It transforms entrepreneurs. It gives you the entire ecosystem that an entrepreneur needs in today's world to succeed.
Right.
It gives you right vendors. It gives you right mentors. More important in any entrepreneurial journey, you miss the most critical element of taking mentorship from somebody. We always have that, we carry the ego, and then I say, why I'm a businessman myself, why should I even listen to somebody? But here, being part of this network has really transformed and made us realize how important to have a right mentor for anyone. It's not necessarily to succeed in business, in many other ways. They give all those mentoring support system that one needs. Every entrepreneur sitting in the room carries a lot of wealth of experience. in various businesses, learning from their struggles, learning from their experiences. We don't have to sail through the similar challenges that one entrepreneur goes through. So, what I can put it in simple terms, as I said, it transforms people. It helps you build long-term meaningful relationships. It has a lot of core values imbibed in it. We practice that, we, having learned from a lot of trainers within selflessly doing a lot of activities. We also become integral part of it and trying to do something back to the forum, back to the people who believed in the system.
Right.
We always try to buy any product or service from this network. The simple reason is not others are not good. But we trust these people. They can stand by us for any reason.
Very true.
This is something which no money can buy.
Absolutely. Some of the posts that I see from you on LinkedIn talks about business based on intent. I've had an entrepreneur who had come here and he told me that intent is a far better driving force than passion.
Hmm.
Because when you're intent driven, you don't go and say, okay, I have achieved 1 crore of business, my passion is complete. Because you're now, the intent is to provide more value. I want to understand from you, from your line of work, what does it mean when you say you're building with intent, business with intent?
I will put it the other way. Passion versus intent. I say purpose with intent.
Okay.
For me, it is purpose with intent.
Hmm.
The purpose in today's entrepreneurial journey for me is to transform not just me, but the people around, to take them together and build meaningful businesses which not just uh, are built to sustain or to make money for us, but it also adds a lot of value to the people who are availing the product or service from us. For example, we have built a co-working company recently. It's not just any other diversification of a business vertical for us. Through the network, people became part of the Buloke family.
Right.
And they come with a vast knowledge of commercial real estate.
Hmm.
We leverage that connection, we leverage that strength, and we said, now that we have been enjoying the spirit of networking through BNI, we have lived entrepreneurial journey for over decades. It's an opportunity for us, and we are in the space of real estate, thankfully, and we keep getting a lot of spaces owned by our own Bulokians, but they have this space vacant. Then we take that spaces, try to build infrastructure that can help entrepreneurs leverage not just the table and space that we have created there, but the network that we all as part of. Help that entrepreneur coming into our spaces transform his business as a whole.
Right.
We are trying to build in opportunities for them to scale up their businesses faster.
Right.
You said, for a business to grow, technology is important, but it's not the only thing. The right network, right people around you, right mentors around you, right support system around you makes a lot of difference. Right? So we are trying to build those spaces with an intent to support that entrepreneur walking into our offices. Amazing. To grow their business 10x faster than what you would have done in any other space. We look at the residential opportunity that we are curating. We are curating it. See, in the past entrepreneurial journey, I used to buy franchisees because I had a small quantum of money. I cannot buy large real estate. Rather, I didn't have anybody advising me or mentoring me to get into the real estate world. So we end up starting businesses either individually or in partnerships. When business collapses, the entire wealth has gone to zero.
Right.
But today, the intent of building this Buloke as a model to curate real estate opportunities to acquire assets in the pre-launch phase is the entry level is small. The ticket size is small. So even any aspirant with low pockets can also participate, or with the deep pockets want to diversify can participate. That's intent is to give them an accessible real estate opportunity. So the purpose is to help the community around us. Passion is human connections. Intent is to help them in the right direction.
Amazing.
Passion, purpose, and intent.
Wow.
What is Buloke? there is nothing called a competition, right? It's always co-creation or a collaboration. But today, whatever we are, thanks to the network, thanks to the people who believed in the vision and are being with us to co-create a lot many opportunities to transform people, transform spaces.
Right. What is in store for Buloke in 2026 and 2027, sir?
I mean, it's not today. I had never set goals and worked on it on the goal. I may be wrong in stating this, but what my experience teach, what my dad used to tell, if you give your 100% every single day, you don't have to set goals and work for it. If you keep your intent right, purpose right, with a passion, to give your 100%,
Right.
it will take you places. That's what I'm experiencing.
Okay. Amazing, sir. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
My pleasure.
This has been a very, very enlightening conversation. By driving this business through passion, having a purpose and having the intent, as you rightly put it, you're not just transforming the people who are working in your organization, but also all the other shareholders who are backing you. Right. So it has been a very enlightening conversation personally for me. And I'm sure it's going to be same for my audience as well. So thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir.
So that's our episode, guys. This is one of those episodes where I had a lot of takeaways. This has given me a lot of insights into into the industry. Hopefully, it has given you too, and hopefully, it has inspired you to make that real estate purchase that you have held off for a very long time. I will be sharing Vaninath sir's details in the description. I'm going to be sharing his LinkedIn. He puts out fantastic LinkedIn posts. Do follow Buloke Realty Ventures Private Limited on their media handles, which I'm going to be sharing in the description too. Thank you. See you in the next episode.